Tune in to a special broadcast of a special program, The Public Square, from local government and community safety to health, education, youth, faith, and the issues that matter most. The Public Square brings together experts, leaders, and everyday people to inform, inspire, and empower. The Public Square, Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m., exclusive to Heartbeat FM.
Goeiemiddag en welkom by The Public Square hier op Heartbeat FM 103.9 en 107.4, jou hartklop vir Christus. Ek is jou aanbieder Anita Overkammer en dit is net na 2 uur hier op Donderdag 20 Augustus 2026. 'n Baie spesiale welkom aan jou, waar jy ook al inluister, en dan wil ek vanmiddag vir al ons Facebook viewers, ons kykers sê baie welkom. Nou as jy op die radio luister en jy het Facebook, dan wil ek vir jou sê, as jy genoeg wifi het, kan jy nou na Heartbeat FM se bladsy toe gaan, en jy gaan 'n video-opname van die lewendige uitsending sien waarmee ons nou besig is. So gaan kyk gerus op Heartbeat FM se Facebookblad. Ons is nou live op Facebook ook, as jy dalk wil saam kyk. Vandag op The Public Square doen ons iets anders, iets belangriks. Iets wat meer Suid-Afrikaanse vroue raak as byna enige ander siekte. Ons praat oor borskanker. Nou, Oktober is borskanker maand, maar omdat ons in vroue maand is, dis nog Augustus, het ons dit goed gedink om hierdie tema in te bring, want dit is nog deel van ons maandelikse Womanhood programme. Ons wil hierdie uur gebruik om eerlik te praat, medies, emosioneel en selfs geestelik, oor 'n siekte wat so baie lewens raak. Later in die program, so omtrent 1:30, speel ons 'n voorafgeneemde onderhoud met 'n baie spesiale gas. 'n Vrou wat jy dalk van die rugbyveld ken, Amy Barrett Tron. Sy is een van Suid-Afrika se mees gevierde rugby skeieregters, die mees vroulike toetsskeieregter ter wêreld met die meeste wedstryde, 52 toetse agter haar naam. Sy is ook 'n voormalige Springbok speler en sy staan tans voor 'n reus genaamd borskankerdiagnose. Ons sal haar voorafgeneemde onderhoud om 14:30 speel. Maar eers, kom ons lê die fondament. Wat is borskanker? Wie raak dit? En wat moet Suid-Afrikaanse vroue weet? Borskanker is 'n siekte waarin abnormale selle in die borsweefsel onbeheerbaar groei en omliggende weefsel kan binnendring of na ander dele van die liggaam kan versprei. Nou hier's iets wat baie mense nie besef nie. Borskanker is nie een enkele siekte nie. Daar is verskillende tipes en subtipes wat verskillend wys en verskillende behandelings vereis. Sommige borskankers word aangedryf deur hormone soos estrogen of progesteroon. Ander word aangedryf deur 'n proteïen genaamd HER2. En dan is daar 3 negatiewe borskanker wat al 3 hierdie algemene behandelingsteiken mis en besondere uitdagings kan bied. Behandeling kan chirurgie, bestralingsterapie, chemoterapie, hormoonterapie, geteikende terapie en in sommige gevalle immunoterapie insluit. Die behandeling hang af van die spesifieke tipe en die stadium van die kanker. Dit wil ons nou tuis bring by Suid-Afrika. Borskanker is die mees algemeen gediagnoseerde kanker onder Suid-Afrikaanse vroue. Volgens die Suid-Afrikaanse Nasionale Kankerregister se statistieke vir 2024 soos gerapporteer deur Kansa, was daar 11.262 aangetekende borskankergevalle onder Suid-Afrikaanse vroue. Die algehele lewenslange risiko is ongeveer 1 uit 28. Dit beteken in 'n kamer van 28 vroue, sal statisties een van hulle borskanker in haar leeftyd ontwikkel. En die statistieke toon verskille in voorkoms tussen Suid-Afrikaanse bevolkingsgroepe ook. Dit is nie net syfers nie. Dit is moeders, susters, dogters, vriende, kollegas. Hier's iets uiters belangrik om te verstaan. Vroeë borskanker mag geen opvallende simptome veroorsaak nie. Daarom is sifting en selfbewustheid so belangrik. Ons gaan nou aansluit by Christo, wat in gesprek was met Tamara Ramala. Sy is 'n kliniese opleidingskoördineerder in die George Subdistrik. Hulle gesels oor die tekens, simptome en die risikofaktore van borskanker.
So discussing breast cancer today, we are in conversation right now with Sister Tamara Ramala, which is a clinical training coordinator at the George Subdistrict. Sister Ramala, why is breast cancer awareness so much important?
Breast cancer is a disease that occurs when abnormal cells in the breast grow uncontrollably and form a tumor. It can spread to other parts of the body if it is not detected and treated early. Breast cancer is the most common cancer among women worldwide, but it can also occur in men. The good news is that when breast cancer is detected early, treatment is often more successful and survival rates improve significantly.
Do we only focus on women, or are men also at risk?
Anyone can develop breast cancer, but some people have a higher risk than others. The risk factors include being a female, increasing age, especially over the age of 40 years, a family history of breast or ovarian cancer, certain inherited genetics or genes, previous history of breast cancer, being overweight or obese, lack of physical activity, smoking and excessive alcohol consumption, long-term exposure to different hormones.
Who is at risk and what are the risk factors?
It is important to remember that having risk factors does not mean a person will definitely develop breast cancer. And many people diagnosed with breast cancer have no known risk factors.
Sister, what signs should people look out for?
If you notice one of the following, please seek medical attention. A new lump or thickening in the breast or under your arm, changes in the size or the shape of the breast, dimpling, redness or thickening of the skin of the breast, a nipple turning inwards, unusual nipple discharge, especially if bloody, persistent breast pain, swelling in part of or all of the breast, any unexplained change in the breast. If you seek medical attention, this can be assessed by a healthcare professional and they can exclude breast cancer. Not all breast changes are cancer, but all unusual changes should be checked by a health professional.
What should someone do if they find a lump?
When you visit the clinic, a healthcare worker will ask questions about your symptoms, medical history, and family history. A clinical breast examination will be performed, and depending on the findings, you may be referred for further investigations, such as the imaging test or specialist assessment. The healthcare team will provide guidance and support throughout the process and explain the next steps.
Can breast cancer be treated?
Breast cancer can be treated, and many people recover successfully, especially when it is detected early. Treatment options may include surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, hormone therapy, targeted therapy, or a combination of this. The treatment plan depends on the type and the stage of cancer and the individual patient's circumstances.
And where can people get additional support?
If you need additional help or support, there is Cancer Association of South Africa, which provides the information, the referrals, the counseling, and the various forms of support to people affected by cancer and their families. Its help desk can be reached on the toll-free number, which is 0800 226622. I repeat, 0800 226622. Additional support services include Reach for Recovery South Africa, which deals about emotional support, counseling, and peer support for breast cancer patients and survivors. Project Flamingo supports breast cancer awareness, screenings, and access to care. Cancer National Cancer Helpline, which is the number that I gave, 0800 226622. And the website, you can reach them when you search for Cancer South Africa .org.za. You will find more information there.
So I've been in conversation with the clinical training coordinator at the George Sub-District, which is Sister Tamara Ramala. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Sister.
Thank you to all the listeners and to the Heartbeat Radio for taking the time to engage in this important conversation. Remember, know your normal, check your breast regularly, and seek medical attention. If you notice any changes, breast cancer can be treated, especially when detected early. Together, we can create awareness, support those affected by breast cancer, and encourage healthier communities. Thank you for having me, and I wish everyone a good health. Thank you.
Baie dankie aan ons gas vir hierdie belangrike en insiggewende gesprek oor borskankerbewustheid. As daar een boodskap is wat ons vandag uit hierdie gesprek moet saamneem, is dit dat bewustheid en vroeë optrede 'n belangrike rol speel. Borskanker is nie iets waaroor ons bang of skaam moet wees om te praat nie. Hoe meer ons daaroor praat en hoe beter ons die waarskuwingstekens verstaan, hoe makliker is dit om veranderinge raak te sien en betyds mediese hulp te kry. Dit is ook belangrik om te onthou dat borskanker nie net vroue raak nie. Mans kan ook borskanker ontwikkel. Daarom moet almal bewus wees van enige ongewone veranderinge en dit nie ignoreer nie. Daar is verskillende faktore wat 'n persoon se risiko kan beïnvloed, maar een van die belangrikste dinge wat ons almal kan doen, is om bewus te wees van wat vir ons eie liggaam normaal is. So, waarna moet ons kyk? Let op vir 'n nuwe knop of 'n verdikking in die bors. Enige veranderinge in die grootte of die vorm van die bors moet ook aandag geniet. Veranderinge aan die vel, soos kuiltjies of 'n ongewone tekstuur, kan ook 'n rede wees om 'n gesondheidswerker te raadpleeg. Veranderinge aan die tepel is nog 'n belangrike waarskuwingsteken. Dit kan byvoorbeeld 'n ongewone afskeiding wees of 'n tepel wat na binne trek. Aanhoudende pyn of enige ander verandering wat jy nie kan verklaar nie, moet ook nie geïgnoreer word nie. Maar kom ons beklemtoon iets belangriks. 'n Knop beteken nie outomaties dat dit kanker is nie. Daar kan verskeie ander redes wees vir 'n knop. Die belangrikste is egter om dit deur 'n gesondheidswerker te laat ondersoek. As jy dit iets ongewoon opmerk, moenie wag en hoop dit gaan van self weg nie. Besoek jou naaste kliniek of gesondheidsfasiliteit. 'n Gesondheidswerker kan jou ondersoek en indien nodig vir verdere toetse of behandeling verwys. En miskien is dit die belangrike boodskap waarmee ons vandag wil afsluit. Moenie bang wees om hulp te vra nie. Om oor borskanker te praat, om vrae te vra en om mediese hulp te kry wanneer jy 'n verandering opmerk, is nie iets om oor skaam te wees nie. Dit is 'n manier om verantwoordelikheid vir jou gesondheid te neem. Kom ons maak dus vandag se gesprek 'n herinnering om meer bewus te wees, om na ons liggame te luister en om enige ongewone veranderinge ernstig op te neem. Borskanker is 'n onderwerp waaroor ons moet praat, nie net gedurende 'n spesifieke bewusmakingsmaand nie, maar deur die hele jaar. Dankie dat jy saam met ons geluister het. Wees bewus, wees oplettend en wanneer jy onseker is, praat met 'n gesondheidswerker. Nou, dit was nou reeds 'n mondvol. Ons gaan nou lekker luister na 'n musieksnit. Geniet hierdie een.
Jy is ingeskakel op die Suid-Kaapse grootste Christen gemeenskap radiostasie, Heartbeat FM.
Hier is my toevlug, my skuilplek en my lied. Wanneer ek moeg raak, is u altyd by my. U genade is elke môre nuut. U trou staan vir altyd vas. Elke asem wat ek haal, behoort aan u, my God. U is my herder, daarom vrees ek nie. Deur donker valleie lei my met vrede. U rig my hoof weer op. U vul my beker oor. En die liefde vind ek op. Nou en vir altyd. Dit is my psalm, my loflied aan u. Getroue God, u liefde bly altyd waar. U is my rots, my krag, my koning. Aan u alleen wil ek my lof besing. Dit is my psalm, my ewige lof. Ek sal u aanbid al die dae van my lewe. Al die berge en bruis die see. Besing, dit is my psalm, my lied van lof. Ek verheerlik U al die dae van my lewe. Jesus, my verlosser, Here van alles. U hoor my wanneer ek na U roep. Vir ewig getrou, vir ewig sterk. My God, my koning, dit is my psalm.
Number one means you're always on top. Your number one radio. Heartbeat FM.
Tune in to a special broadcast of a special program, The Public Square, from local government and community safety to health, education, youth, faith, and the issues that matter most. The Public Square brings together experts, leaders, and everyday people to inform, inspire, and empower. The Public Square, Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m, exclusive to Heartbeat FM.
Die tyd is nou 21 minute oor 2 en jy luister na The Public Square. Ek is Anita Overkammer en vandag praat ons oor borskanker. Die mediese feite, die emosionele reis en die geestelike vrae wat daarmee saamkom. As jy nou eers ingeskakel het, moet jy weet dis om so 14:30 speel ons 'n vooraf opgeneemde onderhoud met ons spesiale gas, Amy Barrett-Tron, een van Suid-Afrika se grootste rugby skeieregters, 'n voormalige Springbok en 'n vrou wat tans borskanker reguit in die gesig staar. Maar voor ons by daardie onderhoud uitkom, wil ek praat oor iets wat dikwels oor die hoof gesien word in die mediese gesprek, die emosionele en geestelike dimensies van hierdie siekte. 'n Borskankerdiagnose kan diepgaande sielkundige gevolge hê. Vroue kan skok, vrees, angs, depressie, woede, hartseer, verlies aan beheer, vrees vir herhaling, veranderinge in selfbeeld, liggaamsbeeld kwessies, seksuele bekommernisse, verhoudingsprobleme en finansiële spanning ervaar. En hier's wat baie mense nie besef nie. Die emosionele uitwerkings kan voortduur selfs nadat behandeling geëindig is. 'n Vrou kan medies as in remissie beskou word, terwyl sy steeds vrees dat die kanker sal terugkeer. Vir vroue wat 'n mastektomie ondergaan, die verlies van 'n bors, kan daar hartseer wees oor veranderinge aan die liggaam, voorkoms, vroulikheid, seksualiteit en identiteitsgevoel. Daar is geen enkele emosionele korrekte reaksie op mastektomie nie. 'n Vrou kan gelyktydig dankbaar voel vir behandeling en rou oor die verlies van 'n deel van haar liggaam. En seksualiteit, dit word dikwels verwaarloos. Borskankerbehandeling kan seksualiteit beïnvloed deur veranderinge in liggaamsbeeld, chirurgiese veranderinge, vroeë menopause, vaginale droogheid, moegheid, pyn, hormonale veranderinge, angs en vrees vir verwerping. Dit is 'n werklikheid. Dit maak saak en dit verdien om oor gepraat te word. Nou wil ek iets sensitiefs aanspreek wat baie gelowiges vra, geestelike vrae wanneer hulle met siekte gekonfronteer word. Daar is Christelike leraars, dokters en navorsers, soos Dr. Henry Wright en Dr. M.K. Strydom wat praat oor die verband tussen die oorsaak van siektes wat die liggaam en die siel konnekteer. Wright se navorsing gaan oor onopgeloste verhoudingskonflik, veral bitterheid of wrevel teenoor 'n ander vrou en die konneksie daarmee met borskanker. Dr. Strydom se werk beklemtoon eweneens die toestand van die hart, vrees, bitterheid, onvergewingsgesindheid, woede, stres, verhoudings en hoe dit fisieke gesondheid kan beïnvloed. Maar hier is wat ons ook duidelik moet sê. Daar is nie voldoende wetenskaplike bewyse om te sê dat bitterheid, woede, onvergewingsgesindheid of stres direk borskanker veroorsaak nie. Kanker is biologies kompleks en ontwikkel deur interaksies wat genetiese veranderinge, cellulêre prosesse, hormone, omgewingsblootstelling en ander faktore behels. En dit is krities. 'n Vrou met borskanker moet nooit gesê word dat sy kanker ontwikkel het omdat sy bitter was nie, of omdat sy iemand nie vergewe het nie. Daar is nie genoeg bewyse om daardie bewering te maak nie. Sulke uitsprake kan skuldgevoelens, skaamte, vrees, selfverwyd en geestelike verwarring skep. Kanker is nie 'n bewys dat iemand geestelik misluk het nie. Mense wat bid, gesond leef, ander vergewe en sterk geloof het, kan steeds kanker kry. En iemand wat sukkel met woede of emosionele pyn, kry nie outomaties kanker nie. Wat wel ware is dat emosionele en geestelike welstand saak maak. Nie omdat dit bewys is dat dit kanker genees nie, maar omdat die gehalte van 'n mens se emosionele en geestelike lewe op sigself saak maak. En vergifnis. Vanuit 'n Christelike perspektief word dit sterk beklemtoon in die woord. Vanuit 'n sielkundige perspektief kan vergifnis soms geassosieer word met verbeterde emosionele welstand en verminderde nood. Maar vergifnis moet nooit verwar word met die sê dat mishandeling aanvaarbaar was nie, die verwydering van gesonde grense nie, terugkeer na 'n onveilige verhouding nie, of die ontkenning van emosionele pyn nie. Gebed, vergifnis, emosionele heling en geestelike ondersteuning kan betekenisvol wees, maar dit moet nooit toepaslike kankerdiagnose en behandeling vervang nie. Dit bring ons by ons voorafgeneemde onderhoud. Ek wil nou vir julle voorstel aan Amy Barrett Tron. Hierdie vrou is 'n baanbreker. Sy is 'n voormalige Springbok vroue rugbyspeler, beide in 15s en 7s. Sy het die eerste vrou geword om as 'n professionele skeieregter manswedstryde in Suid-Afrika te blaas. Sy is die vroulike internasionale skeieregter met die meeste wedstryde in die geskiedenis, 52 toetswedstryde. Sy was in die Verenigde Rugby Kampioenskap, die 6 Nasies en die Rugby Wêreldbeker was sy skeieregter. Amy is gebore op 27 Junie 1987 in Kaapstad. Sy het geskiedenis gemaak deur onder meer by die Olimpiese Spele en verskeie vroue rugby wêreldbekers te blaas. Was met meer as 50 internasionale toetswedstryde was sy die skeieregter. Wat baie mense nie weet nie, is dat Amy as volwasse met autisme gediagnoseer is. Sy beskou haar unieke vermoëns tot detail, patroonherkenning en konsentrasie as 'n voordeel in haar skeieregtersloopbaan. In Julie 2026 het sy bekend gemaak dat sy met borskanker gediagnoseer is, waarna sy tydelik uit rugby tree om op haar behandeling en herstel te fokus. Kom ons luister nou na haar storie. Dear listeners, I'm switching over to English now since my guest is an English-speaking lady and not an ordinary lady, a high-functioning, highly talented and greatly admired female. None other than former SA Women's Rugby star and currently a female rugby referee, world-renowned Amy Barrett Tron. Good afternoon, Amy. Thank you for your availability to chat to us this afternoon.
Hello, Nita. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It is lovely to speak to you today and to all the listeners. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, Amy. I have already read to the listeners about all your sport achievements, not only as a South African female rugby player, but also as a female referee among the world's elite officials. Now, I want to thank you for being willing and available to speak to us about the challenges you are currently facing. A breast cancer diagnosis. Would you kindly share with us how you discovered it, because this is equally important to every woman listening today?
So firstly, I'd like to say it's been a real privilege being a part of women's rugby. I first started playing out in 2005 and went through all the ranks and the structures and had the opportunity to study because of my rugby and travel the world, which has been amazing. And now to be able to call myself a professional referee, a professional athlete, it's special and it's a privilege. Unfortunately this year a little speed bump. I found a lump. I do pretty regular self-checks. I wouldn't say I'm perfect, but a couple of years ago I had a friend, she was diagnosed with breast cancer she was 35 at the time, and obviously quite a scare, and she made this WhatsApp group and she shared some updates, and pretty much from then on, all our friends have been keeping each other accountable and doing self-checks, and I did it, say, early June, just the usual, and I'm probably like everyone else. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm looking for. And then I can tell you can't miss it. As soon as I felt it, like my heart sank. And I think it was just one of those moments, like I did feel a lump, and I thought, listen, I don't have any family history. I'm obviously with my job, I'm fit and healthy. Let's not worry too much. So I booked an appointment like for the next week, Thursday, thinking, I'll get to it. And then on the Friday, the same day I emailed, I'd probably rechecked the lump about 52 times. So then I thought, okay, no, it's bothering me a lot, and went to the doctor, and it was such a quick process, because I saw the doctor on the Monday. She did a self-check, confirmed there is a lump, went through, had a mammogram, which I hadn't had before. Obviously, I was 38 at the time, and I think it's at 40, then you start doing annually, or every 2 years. Mammogram, ultrasound, and then into biopsy pretty quick within the week, and then by the Friday it was confirmed. It was confirmed the diagnosis of having breast cancer, and so needing to have chemo and radiation and an operation and be on meds after that. And I think it was obviously quite a shock. But I think once I took a little bit of time, and once I reframed it into, okay, this is just my high performance program for now. Focusing on me being as healthy as I can to make sure I can tackle the chemo, to make sure, I can kind of stick to the plan of what it is. And obviously a lot of it's unpredictable, but taking it day by day and following my pre-season plan to hopefully smash refereeing when I head back next year.
Well, thank you for that, Amy. Thank you. Thank you also for being totally transparent about your journey today. Now, my next question is, was it a shock to hear? And how did the diagnosis affect you overall, specifically speaking mentally? And how are you handling this big giant you are facing?
If I can just add there, Anita, I think when I first started sharing the news with my friends, my colleagues, before I was quite bold and put it out there for social media, just my way of taking control of it and sharing news, but also sharing the narrative with me as a referee. And I know, if people don't see refs out there, they wonder what happened to them. And also just to create a whole lot of awareness of it. So, when I did share that news with especially my female friends and colleagues, I'd probably say about as high as 95% have said to me, oh my gosh, I can't believe you found it in a self-check. I haven't done one in such a long time, if ever. And some of those also like, actually, I haven't booked the last mammogram I had was quite a while ago, so I need to actually do that. So I just really want to encourage everyone at home to self-check, to remind your friends about checking as well. So I was lucky that we caught it early, but any later, there's options of maybe not returning to reffing, or maybe my future looks a bit different. So to the girls, to the women out there, women supporting women.
Amy, you are truly an inspiration for every lady facing breast cancer, and adding your voice to the choir of cancer fighters and survivors makes it even more powerful. I hope you know it. My last question is, do you have any message of encouragement and empowerment to share with all our female listeners?
Thanks, Anita. Thanks for those kind words. I'll be honest, when I first started reffing, it was very much a personal challenge for me. It was, how I can become the best referee I can be, and how far I can go with it. And probably to my similar introverted personality off the field, I also wanted to ref under the radar and really just carry on doing what I love. But over the years, I started to realize, actually, my role is very important, and it's having an impact across women, whether it be in South Africa and internationally. And it was, I made a big decision to be a bit more public about my matches and my opportunities. And when I get to stadiums, there's often women around, also the next generation female refs. It's so great to see the youngsters coming through, and it's just been a game changer as far as, say, women, especially in rugby, and I think women in general, because often it feels quite relentless. I think if we're honest about it, and you do come up this hurdle after hurdle, and you're hitting into a wall sometimes, and it gets tough out there. But I think what's important is we are relentless back. We put in the hard work. There's no handouts. We're here, we're serious. We want to challenge ourselves to be the best. We want to challenge ourselves to be the best in our role. And then it's about finding that community around us. So as much as reffing seems isolating, you're one person and you're reffing 30 people, or even now the cancer diagnosis, it's, I thought, people won't understand. I'm going through this terrible thing, and they're just, saying these words, and but they never really get it. But actually, what I realize is there's a support network around you, and we need to tap into that. And I think if we can all go women supporting women, and bring along our male allies, and encourage each other to be the best woman we can be. And in no way is this, a bash the men comment. It's I think women, we need to step up and own our space. And I think, from the men's side, it's just about adjusting, supporting, keeping doors open to women who have had a different experience of life.
Amy, on behalf of Heartbeat FM, the Southern Cape's biggest Christian community radio station, I want to extend our heartfelt warm wishes and fervent prayers for a full recovery, as well as a mighty testimony of healing and overcoming the giant of breast cancer. May you really experience the love and the comfort of God our Father. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with all our ladies. Have a lovely day further.
Thanks so much, Anita. It was really special, actually, to share a bit of my story, and I do hope the listeners enjoyed it. And yeah, if I can just leave a last comment to say, I think initially with the cancer diagnosis, I asked a lot of big questions of why me and why now and all of these things, but I just brought it back to trusting that there's a bigger plan. And whilst we don't understand it in the moment, I know in the future things will make a lot more sense, and it's always for the good. So I just want to encourage listeners that even though it's tough, it's all worth it, and trust the plan going forward.
Dit was Amy Barretron, rugby-legende, baanbreker en 'n vrou wat vir ons almal wys hoe moed werklik lyk. Wat 'n inspirerende vrou. Ons bid vir jou, Amy, ons juig vir jou. En ons kan nie wag om jou terug op daardie veld te sien nie. Dankie dat jy jou storie met ons gedeel het op The Public Square. Dis nou tyd vir nog 'n lied. Hierdie een is net vir jou.
Tune in to a special broadcast of a special program, The Public Square, from local government and community safety to health, education, youth, faith, and the issues that matter most. The Public Square brings together experts, leaders, and everyday people to inform, inspire, and empower. The Public Square, Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m, exclusive to Heartbeat FM.
Jy is ingeskakel op die Suid-Kaapse grootste Christen gemeenskap radiostasie, Heartbeat FM.
Hi, my naam is Barry en u is ingeskakel by Heartbeat FM 103.9.
We long for more than empty words, more than songs without the flame. We hunger for your holy presence. Jesus, let us know your name. Teach our hearts to wait before you. Teach our souls to seek your face, till every room becomes an altar, filled with wonder, filled with grace. We need your fire, we need your rain. One touch from heaven and we'll never be the same. We will become a habitation, a dwelling place for you, a people fully surrendered, with hearts forever true. When your glory fills the temple, atmospheres begin to shift. Chains of broken hearts awaken by the power of your presence. And when your glory rests upon us, everything will change. Everything will change. When your spirit floods the heavens, fear and darkness have to flee. Lives are changed forever, Father, by your love and majesty. Make us vessels fit for honor, holy hands and purified hearts. Let revival rise among us till the nations see who you are. Let your glory fall. Let your glory fall. We surrender all. We surrender all. Make us holy ground where your spirit dwells, living in your presence, Emmanuel. We will become a habitation, a dwelling place for you, a people fully surrender, with hearts forever true. When your glory fills the temple, atmospheres begin to shift. Chains of broken hearts awaken by the power of your presence. And when your glory rests upon us, everything will change. Everything will change. Hearts transformed, lives rearranged. Nothing stays the same. When your glory comes, we will be your habitation. Lord, have your way in us.
Was dit nou nie 'n mooi lied nie? Jy luister na The Public Square en ek is jou aanbieder Anita Ouwerkammer. Nou ons het baie gedek in die laaste 3 kwartier. Laat ek jou met 'n paar sleutelafsluitings nou los. Eerstens, borskanker is ernstig. Dis die mees algemene kanker onder Suid-Afrikaanse vrouens. 1 uit 28 vroue sal dit in hulle leeftyd in die gesig staar. Tweedens, vroeë opsporing red lewens. Ken jou borste. Doen selfondersoeke. As iets anders voel, gaan sien 'n dokter. Soos Amy gesê het, ondersoek jouself, luister na jou liggaam en moenie uitstel om enige iets ongewenst te laat ondersoek nie. Derdens, 'n borsknop beteken nie outomaties kanker nie. Die meeste knoppe is goedaardig, maar laat dit ondersoek. Vierdens, borskanker is nie een siekte nie. Dit het verskillende tipes, verskillende behandelings en verskillende reise. Daar is geen enkele storie nie. Vyftens, die emosionele en geestelike dimensie maak saak. Vrees, angs, hartseer, liggaamsbeeld, seksualiteit, verhoudings. Dit is werklik. Dit verdien om erken en aangespreek te word. Sestens, en ek wil dit beklemtoon, Geestelike verklaringe van siekte moet nooit 'n bron van skuld word nie. 'n Vrou met borskanker is nie verantwoordelik vir haar kanker as gevolg van emosionele pyn, onvergewingsgesindheid of bitterheid nie. Kanker is biologies kompleks en geloof, gebed, vergifnis, dit is betekenisvol op hulle eie, nie omdat dit bewys het dat dit kanker genees nie. En laastens, borste is deel van 'n vrou se liggaam, maar dit definieer nie haar vroulikheid nie. 'n Diagnose bepaal nie 'n vrou se waarde, 'n waardigheid, identiteit, waarde, vroulikheid of vermoë om lief te hê nie. 'n Vrou kan 'n bors verloor sonder om haar identiteit te verloor. Aan almal wat luister wat borskanker in die gesig staar, of jy nou 'n oorlewende is, tans in behandeling is, of 'n geliefde ondersteun, ons sien jou, ons eer jou. Aan Tamara Ramala, dankie vir die informasie dat jy dit met ons gedeel het. Aan Amy Barretron, dankie vir jou moed. Dankie dat jy jou platform gebruik om ons almal te herinner om onsself te ondersoek. Ons is agter jou. En aan elke vrou wat luister, doen daardie selfde ondersoek vandag, hierdie week. Maak dit 'n gewoonte. Jy kan meer inligting by Kansa kry, die Kankervereniging van Suid-Afrika, en asseblief, as jy enigsins iets ongewens opmerk, sien 'n gesondheidswerker. Ander bykomende ondersteuning wil ek vir jou sê, Reach for Recovery, berading en ondersteuning deur mense met soortgelyke ervarings. Project Flamingo doen siftingstoetse en bewusmaking, en die nasionale kankerhulplyn is 0800 22 66 22 of die webwerf www.kansa.org.za. Ek wil ook baie dankie sê aan my producer Brianna Cesera, Christo en die hele span vir al die werk wat julle doen. Dankie dat jy tyd saam met ons deurgebring het op The Public Square hier op Heartbeat FM 103.9 en 107.4. Ek is Anita Overkammer en namens ons hele span, sorg vir julleself. Sorg vir mekaar. Ons sien julle volgende keer terug op The Public Square. Tot volgende keer, totsiens.